Downward facing dog. From Thunderbolt, you can come onto hands and knees, stacking wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. Curl your toes under and lift your hips high. It's important to create a deep diagonal from wrist to shoulder. Spread your fingers wide and think about the four corners of the palm. You can bend into your knees if you'd like. Maybe have some organic movement, shake out the hips, and then drive the hips high and breathe the heart towards the thighs. We want to remain light in the upper body and have the majority of your weight in the legs and maybe the hips. Take your full 3-part breaths and continue to draw the chest towards the thighs. Supine hand to foot sequence with an internal and external rotation. Find your yoga strap, and if you don't have one, you can use an old t-shirt or a towel. We'll loop the strap around our right foot. Allow your torso and your head to be long and relaxed on your mat. Engage and flex your left foot, gluing the left leg down into the earth. With an inhale, draw the right leg up towards the sky. We'll now work on ocean wave breath. Every exhale, we allow that strap to help us pull the right leg towards the face or towards the crown of the head. And if you need to adjust, we can lighten it on our inhale. So when you inhale, maybe soften out of the pose, and then exhale and deepen. We'll take one more full deep breath in this supine hand to foot pose. Keeping the left leg engaged, we'll move into an external rotation. Make sure that the left shoulder is grounded and open the right leg out to the right side of your mat. Work to keep both feet flexed and stay grounded through your left glute and your left heel and your left shoulder. Now we can use our breath to not only let the leg go into that side plane, but draw the foot up towards the head. Take a nice deep breath here. On your next inhale, the leg can go straight up to the sky. We'll take our internal rotation. Put the strap into your left hand. Right arm will ground on the earth. Especially to work the IT band, we're gonna make sure that the right glute stays grounded. We just invite the right leg to come across the body. You'll feel the stretch in the outside of this leg. Take a few deep breaths here. Again, checking in, making sure that the torso is long and the upper body is grounded. When you're ready, allow the right leg to go back up to the sky and then slowly down to your mat. We'll take side 2. Strapping your left foot and then grounding through the right leg. Heel is grounded, glute is grounded, shoulder is grounded, and the right foot remains flexed. On your inhale, elevate the left leg, foot to the sky. You can have a micro bend in the knees or the leg can be straight. Listen to your body. Again, using your breath on an exhale, maybe pull the leg slightly towards your face or crown of the head. And if you need to release and lighten the pose some, try doing it on an inhale. Allow yourself to exhale deeply one more time, and then we'll go into that external rotation, letting the left leg fall into the left side plane. Make sure that your right shoulder, glute, and heel remain grounded. Using your breath now, the left leg will stretch down towards the earth and up towards the head, working it in both directions. Stay connected to that slow-paced, rhythmic 3-part breath. Exhaling deeply to feel the full expression of the pose. On an inhale, allow the left leg to come up through center, and then getting the internal twist, the right hand will grab the strap. Keep the left glute grounded, focusing on your left IT band or outside of the left leg. And use the breath to continue to deepen that internal movement. Exhaling deeply to get one more moment in your stretch. Allow the left leg to return to the sky. Maybe pause, and then the left leg can come down to the mat. Plank to Chaturanga Dandasana push-ups or tricep push-ups. From your tabletop with knees under hips and wrists under shoulders, you'll move into a full plank. You can keep your knees down at a diagonal to the earth if you want a bit more support. Continue to keep the arms pillar-like with the wrists directly under the shoulders. For our tricep push-ups, we're gonna rotate the eyes of the elbows forward so that the elbows bend back towards our belly button. Keep the upper arms in towards the torso and melt your heart down to the mat. Heart and chin can press down, and then using the strength of your arms, lift right back up into your plank. Let's invite 3. You can move at your own pace with your own breath. Remember, there's no rush, and we want to be aware of protecting the elbow joints. Feel free to come into a child's pose or an embryo pose when you're done. Shifting the glutes over the heels, arms can stretch out long, or if your shoulders need a break, bend the elbows. You can take one hand over the other to make a pillow for your forehead, or pressing the palms together or interlacing the fingers. Take the hands behind the neck for more of a tricep stretch. Tabletop to cat and cow pose. From your tabletop, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, long neck, gazes at the mat. Feel like your neck is just an extension of the spine. We'll move into cow pose, dropping the belly towards the mat, engaging the glutes, gazing forward or up at the sky. You might notice that your shoulder blades roll back and you feel a lengthening across the chest. Pause here, and then tuck the chin and the tailbone, letting the thoracic spine arch up towards the sky. Continue to invite the pelvis and the chin to tuck in, and again, pause here, our cat pose. Now for 3 breaths, move with the flow of your own breath. Inhaling to cow, dropping the belly, engaging the glutes, opening the heart, gaze forward or up, and exhales will take you to cat pose, tucking the chin and the tailbone, arching the spine. We want to work on the connection of breath and body to strengthen the nervous system. After your 3 rounds, you can feel free to take a child's pose or embryo pose, letting the glutes come over the heels. Knees can come wide on the mat or be aligned with the hips. Elbows can bend or arms can be straight. Sunbirds. From tabletop, we'll lift the right arm up wrist shoulder height with the thumb facing the sky like you're shaking someone's hand. Extend the left leg back with a flexed foot. We want to work the ankle about hip height and the wrist about shoulder height. Then imagine someone pulling you gently from your shoulder and your hip. Feel the length. And then exhale those limbs down to the mat. Left hand will breathe up, wrist shoulder height, thumb to the sky, and right leg will as well, flexing that foot. Again, finding length. Ankle about hip height, wrist about shoulder height. Find length from the hip and the shoulder sockets, and then breathe those limbs down. We can continue to breathe this way or add a crunch. Next time, when the right arm and the left leg lift, hold for a moment, flexing the foot, feeling that long line of energy. And then exhale, bring the elbow and the knee to meet, arching the spine, engaging the core, crunch. And then come back to your tabletop. Right leg, left arm, extend long. Make sure that the foot is flexed. Reach, stretch through the joints, and then on an exhale, bring elbow and knee together, arch the spine, engage the core, crunch. You can bring the hands back down to the mat. You can continue with this version if you'd like. Our third version is a sunbird reach back. Bringing your right arm and your left leg up, we'll bend the knee and sweep the right hand back to reach or bind with the foot. We can press hand into foot and gaze forward and see how high we can lift that back leg. Honor your body and then slowly melt those limbs back down to the mat. Take a breath. Right leg, left arm, extend long. And again, we'll bend the knee, we'll reach back. Maybe it's just a reach, maybe it's a bind. Hand and foot can press into each other, gaze forward, look up, lift or invite that leg to lift. Feel the stretch in the quads, and then melt those limbs back down to the mat. Take 3 more rounds, whatever version feels comfortable for you. Connect your breath and your body. Inhaling with one movement, exhaling with another. If you notice that your knee is bending, work to find more length in that limb. We don't have to lift the leg high. Remember, just ankle to hip height. After your 3 rounds, take your time and find that child's pose or embryo pose to give yourself a rest. Chair pose. Identify the iliac crests of the pelvic bone. You can make fists over those bones and then make sure that your feet are directly underneath those points. You can lift up the toes and maybe rock up and down, feeling the 4 corners of the feet under the big toe mounds, pinky toe mounds, inside and outside of the heels. Release your arms and then ground through those 4 corners of the feet. We'll sweep the arms forward at a diagonal and our palms will face in towards each other. Bending into the knees, we'll squat down, feeling like you're pulling apart floorboards with the soles of your feet. If you want to tuck the tailbone in slightly, if that feels better for you, go for it. Bring your gaze in between your wrists or your palms, or maybe up at the ceiling. Take a big breath in and a big breath out, and then slowly lengthen through the spine and relax your arms. Roll your shoulders back as you stand and take a breath. Tiger stretches. From your tabletop with wrists stacked under shoulders, you'll make sure your neck is an extension of the spine, looking down at the mat, feeling a long line of energy, no compression on the neck. We'll inhale the right leg up, ankle hip height with a flexed foot. When you exhale, point the toe, draw the knee in towards the nose or the forehead and squeeze the abs. Extend the right leg long and then take it back down to the mat. Next breath, left leg will lift up with a flexed foot. And then when you're ready to exhale, point the toe and bring the knee in towards the nose or the forehead. Take your time, move with a slow paced breath. But remember, when you extend your leg back, the foot is flexed, toes to the mat. Take 3 more rounds on both sides, working to connect breath and body. Nice work. You may notice that the more you practice, the easier it is and the closer your knee gets to your forehead or your nose. After your 3 sets, feel free to take a child's pose or an embryo pose. And for embryo pose, you can sweep your hands back by your feet. Palms will face the sky. This is especially nice if you really need to give your shoulders a break. Staff pose. From your seated posture, extend your legs long and flex your feet. When you're ready, we'll sweep the arms up overhead, palms face in towards each other, and then soften the shoulders away from the ears. Imagine you're creating a capital letter L with your body. So find length in the spine, engage the core and the back muscles to be as tall as you can be. Take a full 3-part breath here, continuing to find length, spreading those fingers, energizing even through your fingertips, and keep the feet flexed and engaged. When you're ready to come out of it, you can hinge from your hips and go into a seated forward fold. Boat pose. From your seat, bend your knees and take your heels to the mat. We can hold underneath the hamstrings or underneath the knees and start to lean back with a long spine. This could be your boat pose. If you want more, pick up the feet so that the shins are parallel to the mat. We can continue to hold the backs of the legs or reach the hands towards the pinky toe sides of the feet. Maybe we breathe here, or maybe we extend through the legs, pointing the toes, creating a V in the body. Nice full deep breaths here, and we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come out of it. You can hold for as ever long as you'd like, or we can go high and low boat movement for more ab work. Find your boat pose, shins parallel to the mat, and then slowly lower down, keeping the heels and the shoulder blades elevated. Pause and return to your high boat 2 more times. Lower down, keep those heels and shoulder blades up. 1 more time, extend, and come up. Beautiful. You can do as many as you'd like. Supine plank pose. From your seat, take your hands back behind your hips, fingertips point down towards your feet. Take the soles of the feet to the mat and lift the hips, coming into a pose where your knees are stacked over your ankles. You can extend the neck back if it feels safe. Continue to drive the hips up, wanting to keep the knees, the hips, and the chest in the same plane. If you want to go further, extend the legs. Keep the soles of the feet on the mat and keep driving the hips high. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower the hips down and return to your seat of honor.